MMA indeed. Good afternoon, or if you're on the West Coast, good morning to you, as we are getting you ready for UFC Vegas 30. This is the People's Pre-Fight Show here on MMAfighting.com. It kicks off at the top of the hour, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and it's going to kick off with a fun fight, and it's going to end in the heavyweight division with Gane taking on Alexander Volkov. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Saturday thus far. I am Mike Heck. AK is here. I was actually the last one on board. Where is AK? Present yourself, AK.
I'm mixing up the chant a little bit here. I think we can give it a little more, a little more. Especially after last night, because let me tell you, I don't know what people have questions about it, but I'll just say MMA happened last night. There was a lot of MMA happening last night, and a lot of good MMA.
There you go. And
right?
one of the commenters accused you of being hungover.
Oh,
that you
Bobby,
had too many birthday beverages.
I am known as.
Did you go to TGI Fridays last night? Is TGI Fridays open in Toronto? Did you have a big party there?
Do we have those in Canada?
What do you mean? You have to have this. What's the
we don't even have that saying up here.
Oh. Do you not believe in freedom? What's going on?
We say TWIFH. We say the weekend is finally here. You've never heard that? That's okay. You're an American, so TWIFH. That's normal. That's our Canadian version.
Canada's so friendly. It's TGIT. Thank God it's today. Every day.
Yes. Right, exactly. We don't separate the weekends up here, the days. We don't designate the days. Again, I know you guys are busy in the U.S.
All days are equal,
no.
Right? Yeah.
All days are equal. Yeah, no, we don't do that stuff. So that's so hurtful.
We love Mondays as much as we love Friday nights.
See, I got another Canadian in the chat. Martin Resendez just said TWIFH. See, everyone in Canada knows this very common 5-letter acronym.
Yes.
Yeah, sports
MMA
ball.
and sports ball. That's right. Casey Leydon. We have to trademark sports ball. Yeah. Casey. How are you, sir? Sun's out, guns out, I see.
Yeah. Last week of Pride Month, so I got my corporate HSBC rainbow wristband, just when I get all these hot questions, hot takes, I got to wipe off the sweat. So, yeah, here we are. We're doing it. MMA in the morning.
Yes, MMA in the morning. It's going to kick off with Yancy Medeiros versus Damir Hadzovic. And it appears that 1:15 Eastern is when that fight will start. But who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's see what the peeps have to say. It is their show after all. So right. We're going wherever you guys want to go.
Let me get rid of that silly question. All right, here we go. Let me start from the top.
All right.
Just see, we got a lot of ones here.
Woo.
3 a.m. start in Melbourne. Fun time.
Shout us to Australia, by the way. That's a big market for our podcast, Mike. On to the next one. A lot of Australians listen to our show.
Yeah.
I
think it's the timing of it. Like we're just as soon as they wake up, they get a show ready to go.
Boom.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of AK fans in here.
Love you, John.
The early start time, just bringing out the friendliness in everybody. I love it. Normalized fighters wearing more animal heads to weigh-ins. Shavkat Rakhmonov is that dude. Yeah. He's that dude. Good.
I think who was Amanda Nunes. She wore the lion mask, but it wasn't a real lion. I mean, so yeah. Some. Cool.
We don't encourage that.
Yeah.
We don't encourage real animal heads being worn. Let's just make that very clear.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Actually, where's the question?
Are we going to talk about Pettis going 0-2 out of the UFC? I will. I'm just going to open the old door here and tell you that I was covering Bellator last night, so I did not watch this fight at all. I know Pettis lost via split decision. I know it was kind of a controversial decision in a lot of people's eyes, but did you watch AK?
I also did not see that particular fight. So you really, Jeremiah, you've really come to the right people for their take on this fight.
Casey
I
watched
watched PFL.
Casey, please let us know how close to the fight.
I watch mixed martial arts, guys.
I know he lost to Hausch Manfio.
I don't know who he lost to, but he lost the fight.
It was pretty clear.
No, it wasn't pretty. It was competitive.
Yeah.
But it's not a robbery. It's just a close fight. It's one of those type fights. But either way, yeah, Pettis is 0-2. If he wouldn't have won, it would have been, barely. It was a toss-up. It was super close. And Pettis was the one that took the bigger shots. Pettis might have won. Yeah, Pettis got hit the hardest. Pettis got dropped with a knee, and he had to survive for a while. I think in the third round. So I think the right fighter won, regardless. But yeah, this is just yes or no question. We're going to talk about it. So yeah.
Well, I want to find. Hold on. Well,
wait.
Look, we didn't see. Mike and I, we let you guys down, but you know who didn't let us down is the statisticians or the robots at the PFL, because according to the FPR, the fighter performance rating, I believe fighter performance rating had Pettis winning this fight.
The fans and Pettis. The fans and the FPR robot, did have Pettis winning slightly.
Sure, it's very close. Round one. This is on FPR, by the way. This is out of 100. Why I'm explaining, we all know what a PFL FPR is. Yeah. Round one, Pettis 44-39. So that's almost like nothing. That's essentially indistinguishable. 63-42 round two. So a clear Pettis second round, and then a very clear third round for Manfio, 95-33. So if you guys put any weight in that, it's like we said, it's a split decision. Obviously, a very close fight. And I don't know if anyone can really complain either way.
All right, I know we are getting ready for a UFC card, but let me just ask you, AK, because we didn't have to watch the card last night to answer this question. We talked about the PFL having a very interesting 2020. They didn't have any cards, any fights, but they went out there and they signed a lot of big names. Anthony Pettis, Fabricio Verdum, the list goes on and on. They had Rory McDonald from the year before. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Was it worth it to get the eyes on the regular season at least?
Yeah, I think so. I think in the perfect scenario, at least for this first year, you would have had 2 out of those 3 names that we brought up, Pettis, Verdum, and McDonald advance the playoffs. So it's only Rory advancing so far. Fabricio, for health reasons, is out of the tournament. He's got a brain condition, so best wishes to him. And Pettis, as we said, 0-2, so clearly not advancing to the playoffs. But I think it brought a good level of certainly notoriety. I think it got us people who weren't familiar with the PFL talking about it. That's really the main thing behind these signings. And again, ideally you'd have them advance, or you'd have someone kind of beat one of them in spectacular fashion and kind of make a name off of them. Though it's a little too early for that to happen. Like I would have thought that would have happened for Clay Collard. That was such a good win for him and such an entertaining fight. But I don't know if the league properly capitalized on it, or if it was even the right time. Like it's a sort of thing, like the whole question that Jeremiah is asking it has us more thinking sort of about like Pettis than his opponents. Casey, you didn't even remember who it was that beat him on Friday, and you watched the fight. And you watched the fight.
That's the issue, though. Since it was Pettis' kind of second loss, I don't even know the gentleman's name that beat him. I feel like Clay Collard, who won the first time against Pettis in PFL, I think he kind of got the got the buzz. What's the wrestling term? I forget.
He got over on it.
He got over
for sure.
Sorry, I forgot. He got over. I'm not sure if this gentleman got over by being Pettis. Collard definitely got over. So I want to see Collard's next fight. This guy, I don't know, whatever. And I'll go. Hey, I recognize that guy. That's about it.
Manfio, and he had a crazy story. He was going to fight. Nathan Schulte. Nathan Schulte is the godfather of his daughter, so thankfully that got rearranged. We didn't have to see that mess. But back to the original question, I think the signings absolutely matter. It's disappointing for the PFL, I'm sure. That again, not like at least also Verdum or Pettis didn't make it through. Like again, 2 out of 3 would have been really good. But they also brought in Clarissa Shields, which I know is kind of a different kind of signing. But all these signings that they did, all the activity they did during the that off season, as it were, I think they did about as good a job as you can with staying active and making news for your organization without having actual fights. I know our emails are filled with press releases from the PFL. So that's something. They did not sit on their laurels, and I think they also got lucky. This is kind of unrelated, that they had a lot of good fights and exciting finishes this year. So I would say the in cage wise, it was probably the best, like most entertaining year they've had so far.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
and
first year was
they're only
really
halfway
good,
through.
too.
They haven't even started the playoffs yet.
The playoffs is a tricky one though, because now you have the 2-round fights. I think now you have the 2-round fights. Oh no, they don't have to do that this year because it's only.
I don't know.
I'll have to double check that. I know they won't have to do that this year because they're not doing. Excuse me. So forgive me. They're not doing 2 fights in one night this year because it's a shorter playoffs. So, but yeah, that was an issue in the past. So it's actually kind of a good thing. It sucks that less people got in the playoffs, but the actual playoffs themselves will probably be better because you don't have these awkward 2-round draws that then go to a judge's like decision. To anyone who watched recent the other PFL seasons know what I'm talking about. It's like fighters advanced on draws just because of the nature of the tournament. It was very strange. So they want to worry about that this year.
And also last night, Lance Palmer out completely, 0-2 too.
Is he happy about that though? Because I mean, he said it. He said, I think he told who did he tell? Oh no, he said at the press conference.
Yeah, but
this week.
Yeah, but he could have won his fights and still left them. You know.
He says he can't. He says there's a championship rollover clause. So if he won the championship again,
so if he would got $1 million, he would have got.
If he got another $1 million,
I got to fight for 30 and 30.
Well, I think his worry is about like what happened with like last year, where he had no fights, right? So he went from obviously.
But I swear something happened last year that was kind of out of PFL's control. I'm not sure.
Yeah, of course. But other people got to fight. Some other people got fights outside the PFL, I think, and for some reason he couldn't. But maybe it's the promotions he wanted to fight for. Again, we don't know the details exactly what he was asking for.
Are you saying Lance Palmer was happy he lost last night?
I don't know if he's happy. I just wonder if the motivation wasn't there to want to stick around. No one's happy losing out on the chance for $1 million. But I wonder if they're a little bit motivation-wise, he's like, well, this is my chance to kind of.
He was fighting his butt off last night. He just lost the fight.
Sure.
He was going for that finish because I think he had to get a second round. He had to get a finish by the second round to guarantee a playoff spot.
No, first. I think he needed first round.
Second
I think he needed first round.
I watched it, man.
What was the FPR? What was the FPR of the
$2 billion?
But yeah, no, and look, I'm not taking anything away from the guys who beat him. Kabalayev's a friggin' beast. He's probably going to win the whole damn thing. And Bubba Jenkins just out wrestled him, which he had done before in actual, collegiate wrestling. So not taking anything away from those guys, but I think there is another side of this where like Palmer possibly,
all right.
At least the silver lining that he can go.
All I wanted to say was this just shows you that if you're a UFC fighter and you want to go outside the organization, your fights are just as tough. They do not get easier just because it doesn't have, your cage doesn't have 8 sides. It's absolutely just as tough outside the UFC. Cool. Anything else?
All right. I think we're good.
All right.
15 minutes on the PFL. This is crazy. I think the fake crowd cheer did over Pettis.
Oh, were they doing that?
No.
And another real quick on PFL.
Awesome.
Dude,
that was a nice knockout.
Dude, last night in both cards, all the ladies brought all the violence of the night. All the big finishes were all by the ladies. So
Jenna Fabian,
yep,
Kiel Harrison, as always.
Liz Carmouche.
What's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Chris Samuel says, "How dare you? How dare you?" 10-second knockout. 10-second knockout. Dude. Against a guy that Bellator is highly touting too, because collegiate wrestler from Fresno State. And Chris Samuels, if you look at his Tapology page, and I think you brought that attention on Twitter last night, Casey. Chris Samuels is like 1-38 as an amateur. Yeah. It's crazy. But big moment for him. Stepped in on short notice and made the most of it.
I don't know how he did it. Cause I'm kind of putting myself in that same position, because I'm kind of training for an amateur fight right now. If I would have lost I think he lost his first 8. He was 0-8 as an amateur. And then he wins his 9th fight or something, or his 10th fight or something. He's like 1-10. And he goes, after losing 9 fights and winning 1, he goes, you know what? I'm ready to go pro. Yep. I'm ready to do this.
And he won. He won his first one.
Yeah, and he won. It's amazing. Just what a crazy sport. Yeah, but the rest of Pacheco, what a knockout. That was awesome.
Yeah, right, and good for Liz Carmouche because she needed that.
Oh, yeah. I was picking Kana, but no, Liz brought it. Wow.
Yeah, that was sick. That was insane. That was perfect game right there.
Yep.
All 5 seconds of it.
Yep.
But man, she came out on fire.
All right.
All right, do we have any UFC Vegas 30 questions?
We are legally obligated.
Honestly, not that many.
I see a few on YouTube. I see some on YouTube. Can I? Oh, go ahead.
I mean, a lot.
There we go. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, we have an actual dog. Casey, we had an actual dog asking us a question. I'm like, do you know? Yeah.
Do you think the guy from Mongolia with the wolf hat is legit? I assume you're talking about the second biggest favorite on the card, Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's fighting Michel Perez, minus 305 favorite for the compared to Perez, the giant welterweight. I mean, again, if you're looking for something to do before the first fight starts, just look at the face-off picture between Rakhmonov and Perez. It's absolutely insane. It's like 7 inches of height.
It literally is, and especially if the wolf head. Yeah.
Oh, even big. Oh, yeah.
To answer your question, in my eyes, I think he's very legit. To go out there and beat Alex Oliveira the way that he did in his UFC debut like that looks pretty legit to me. It's been a while since we've seen him, so I'm very intrigued. He's taking on a wily veteran in Perez. Interesting fight, but I think Rakhmonov gets the job done. I don't know if he submits him. I think he gets a late finish, but I think this is kind of a showcase fight for him. I think we see a little bit more of him than we saw, obviously, in the Oliveira fight since that fight ended in the first round. But I think he's legit. Casey, do you think Rakhmonov's legit? Absolutely
zero clue. Don't know. One fight isn't enough, especially a short notice fight when Cowboy Oliveira really didn't know his opponent. We see this a lot, you know. I think Beneil Dariush Hernandez, you know, not saying Hernandez isn't legit, but, you know, it's like, whoa, you knocked out, Beneil Dariush in 10 seconds. He's clearly the next lightweight champion. We just don't know, especially coming short notice. But I am very interested in the guy. That guy, he moves the needle. He has that it factor somehow, just in his presence and his look and being from. Is he from Mongolia? Or I think.
Oh, he's from Kazakhstan.
Okay.
I'm not sure why they.
We just went with that.
I just went with wolf hat. Wolf hat.
Yeah, I was reading. He's not from Mongolia, but he's from the Kazakhstan area. Or Kazakhstan.
Yeah. I think he's born in Uzbekistan, but I believe he's fighting out of.
I am confused by this, but the commentator is MMA dog, and the fighter is wearing a wolf hat, which is your ancestor.
Yeah.
It's like he's wearing your ancestor's skull on his head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's out of respect. It's out of respect, though. It's out of respect. I think that's the greatest honor for a wolf is to have its head worn by a human being.
Wait. MMA Dog has a comment. He has a reply.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Good. But no, I agree. I totally think Rakhmonov is the real deal. Kazakhstan is producing some good prospects. I think he's like right at the front of it. He's one of the guys you just take a glance at his Tapology page. Like he was fighting for M1, so he's fighting with a good organization before. And a lot of guys, when they come before the UFC, you'll see them like in their even later in their career, they'll have fights against like unbeaten guys. They have 0-2 guys, 0-1. He's fighting like guys with actual records, and the records, whatever, you can probably dig into those and dissect them more. But just fighting people with experience is always encouraging. And the win over Oliveira, very eye opening. So I'm all in on the Rakhmonov experience.
But it's interesting that the UFC decided not to fast track him. They actually kind of brought him backwards in a sense.
Yes, which was nice.
I approve of. I'm not against that at all. So
for sure.
Which is this is a very rare type of booking for the UFC to have a big win and then go way back in the rankings, for your next fight. But cool.
I honestly think it's because nobody. And again, this is not like anyone's ducking him, but something tells me that when welterweights that are just outside the top 15 saw that guy's name, they weighed the risk versus the reward and were like, hell no, I'm not fighting this guy. Doesn't make any logical sense for me. But Perez doesn't give a damn. Let's go. No. Let's do this thing. I'll steal some hype.
He's probably not staying at welterweight anyway, so he doesn't really. So
I'll tell you what. Talking to Greg Jones, DeMarcus Jackson, and Jason Jackson during at the Bellator 260 media day, Rakhmonov trained at Sanford MMA for this fight, did some time over there.
Oh, okay.
They were just like, oh my God, like wait till you see this guy fight.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Jackson called him big ass 170er. So he is
Okay.
he is as big as he looks.
So the buzz
He's
between
6'1", he's
fighters and coaches are like, oh, this guy's a real deal. Okay.
Once they realized who he was, because I asked DeMarcus about him. I was like, what have you made of training with Shavkat Rakhmonov? And they were like, he was like, who? And I'm like, I mean, you have pictures with this man, so I know you trained with him. And then Greg Jones is like, the guy with the wolf hat. He goes, oh man, the big ass 170. He goes, that guy's a beast. So, Sanford MMA, all in on this dude.
I totally get that with fighters too. Like you'll train with a guy for a couple of weeks, but you actually never know his name. You go like you just hey, let's roll. Let's go. You never actually call people by their name. That's funny. Cool.
Is Volkov the most successful fighter who came in from Bellator? I know Chandler's there, but body work, it's hard to make a case against Volkov. That's a really good question, Chris R.
Wow.
Chris R. Really good question. AK, what do you think? Is
Wow.
Volkov the most successful, like resume wise? Is he the most successful fighter from Bellator over to the UFC?
I feel like we're probably forgetting like some random person who had like one
Some random
Bellator
guy named
fight.
Eddie Alvarez.
But I mean, I was gonna say Eddie Alvarez would be, I would think, the immediate answer, right? I'm just trying to think. Is there anyone we're forgetting who became a UFC champion who fought like one time for Bellator?
Derek Lewis.
He did. Did he fight for Bellator?
He's a Bellator washout.
You're
Derek
lying.
Lewis is a Bellator washout.
Why do you lie? See, why are you lying?
Derek Lewis, man. Oh, God, I got to.
Why are you lying?
Keep
But
discussing.
Yeah. Go ahead. You look it up. Yeah. No, Eddie Alvarez, I think, would be the most. I get it. If we're just looking like, oh, Volkov has stuck around the longest, because Eddie Alvarez, how long was his actual run with the UFC? It was probably no more than 8 fights, right? I'm not crazy, right? No more.
Yeah, something like that.
But he won the title in like his 3rd fight. He has big wins on his resume. So yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go over Eddie Alvarez, but yeah, it's funny we don't. It's funny we don't think of Volkov as much as an ex-Bellator guy anymore. He was the Bellator heavyweight champion. Like he held that promotion's title and he fought for them a bunch of times. So it is funny though. Probably because he came over during that time when the UFC had almost like a soft ban on the word Bellator. I think they just didn't mention, if you came from Bellator, it's just like, oh, he fought elsewhere for other solid organizations. Yeah. Now they don't seem to care as much. I think they just signed so many guys that it can't be helped, and they just don't care. But I think during that time, people didn't talk about it as much, so I don't think about him as a Bellator guy. But that's a really good question. Top 3 easily. I don't know if that's how much
Derek
that says.
Lewis lost to the great Tony Johnson Jr. at Bellator 46.
What?
A decade ago. Actually, a decade ago yesterday. June 25th, 2011.
So there you go. If you want to include Lewis,
Derek Lewis is his 10th year anniversary of losing and washing out of Bellator. And now he's contended now this Bellator washout might be getting a UFC heavyweight title fight. Ugh.
He already had one. He's already fought the UFC
another
title
one.
once, right? So he's
his second one.
He would be above Volkov. I think you could put all those guys we mentioned above Chandler, only because Chandler just has so little UFC like actual in cage time so far. But Chandler is if he sticks around, is gonna.
We are missing so many. I know we're missing.
I know.
Well, I mean,
I know. I'll look at the comments.
It depends on how you define success. Success could be wins and losses, could be titles, could be money and interest generated. Because if we're going by the latter, it's got to be Ben Askren, right? I mean, who garnered more attention than freaking Askren? Like, I know he got traded from one, but
God, right.
He was the former Bellator welterweight champion, so I mean, he made his name with Bellator.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him above Volkov, but it's absolutely.
Someone threw this out there. Someone threw this out there too. I forgot she fought in Bellator. Carla Esparza.
Yes, I see Terrence Leverett. Thank you for mentioning Esparza.
That was definitely during when Bellator was on MTV2 or something, I think.
There's a new MTV?
But I think regular fighters, like guys who fought for Bellator,
like featured fighters,
guys fought Bellator, like
not
more than once or twice.
Yeah, that's.
I'd say Volkov's right up there. If Volkov becomes a heavyweight champion, he might be the guy.
God, man, I feel like I'm.
Oh, someone said Joe.
We got to name one.
Someone
more.
said one
Joe
time
Soto,
UFC one time UFC bantamweight title contender Joe Soto. The only man I think we said to ever fight for a UFC title with no in their debut, right?
Oh, I forgot. Carla Esparza fought in Bellator twice. She was 0-2, and
Yes.
she lost to Megumi Fuji and Jessica Aguilar.
No shame in that.
I forgot
Yeah,
about those.
yeah.
Oh,
Two of the best at the time. Yeah.
Carla Esparza, what a low key kind of all time great female fighter to be.
She's a very good career.
I mean, seriously, it's really low key, but she's gonna be going. She should go down as one of the best female fighters ever. I mean, she should be having a title shot soon. Her second title shot. So
people talking about a lot of random names.
You know she's
Guys,
not going to get it, right?
I know.
She's not going to get the damn title shot. It's blasphemy. It's blasphemous that she doesn't get this title shot. They're going to give it to Zhang Weili. I understand why, but it'd be just awful. So egregious if she doesn't get a title shot after that performance.
How many
we're
divisions
forgetting
are like that right now? We're Leon Edwards should get a title shot. He ain't get one. Lauren Murphy should get a title shot. She ain't get one. You know, we're kind of I feel like we go through this a lot. You know, just this person.
Yeah, but Carla,
the storyline, everything.
Carla's compared to where Aljamain Sterling was after he submitted Corey Sandhagen. Yeah. This is a no-brainer. He gets next, but Dana White's well, I'm not ready to make that decision yet.
Even more so, because at least Aljamain didn't have the storyline. Carla they have the storyline too of Rose too. So this is even a stronger case than say Aljo had when he submitted Sandhagen. What are you gonna say, AK?
AK?
Guys, we had Jeremiah K coming in with a former Bellator guy who we forgot. He main evented the first ever Bellator show. One Mr. Jorge Masvidal. The main event of Bellator 1. He fought for them 3 times. He had, of course, on the other end of one of the most
ever. Yeah.
Most memorable submissions of all time, Toby Amato. But I know he's not. I wouldn't call him a former Bellator guy, but it is. It is.
I would definitely call him a former Bellator guy because of that loss.
He's a former everything guy.
That loss, that inverted backwards upside zero G triangle by Toby Amato was their Showtime Pettis kick. I saw that thing 6 billion times, and it's still one of the greatest submissions ever. At least the visuals, everything about it. The way he was standing is oh, he just falls out a frame. It was just great. Yeah, it was great.
So he'd be up there. Oh, we got a lot of extra time though. Like you said, probably 115. A lot of extra time.
Yeah.
A lot of extra time.
We continue this episode of PFL and Bellator talk. MMA is the sweet science now. Boxing is dead.
No, it isn't.
Boxing is not dead. Boxing is definitely not dead.
No, it is not. There's a lot of boxing tonight. Lomo's fighting tonight, and Gervonta Davis is fighting tonight. I want to see that. I don't want to pay $60 for it, but I definitely want to see it.
Boxing is like
KFC's tonight too.
There's a lot of
what's his name? Roth in The Godfather Part 2. It's he's been dying for 20 years. It's not if that's dying, it's not dying. Guys, if you all got to stop saying boxing is dying because it's dying in the sense that we're all dying. We'll all die one day. Dying. Well, it's not going away. I remember.
Okay, tell us about this.
I'm just saying when UFC. Remember when UFC started booming in the mid 2000s, and it's just boxing's dead. Boxing's dead. Boxing. It's guys, that was over 15. No, boxing's not dead. Deal with it.
Yeah, boxing's not dead.
Oh my God.
The heavyweight division was on life support for a while, but now the heavyweight division's back booming, probably bigger than it's ever been with the kind of fights they're putting on, the kind of attendance they're drawing, the amount of money that these fights are generating on pay-per-view. Boxing is definitely not dead. People, they got over 1 million buys to watch a freaking exhibition bout between Floyd Mayweather and a freaking YouTube star. Are you kidding me? Boxing's not dead.
Boxing is
not dead. Because you can do these creepy freak show fights until the end of time, and people are gonna pay for it.
I mean, and that's just one aspect of it. I mean, just boxing in general, it's just doing great. It
is.
I mean, I don't know. Even when tell MMA fans, I don't know why they have a competition too.
There doesn't have to be.
Still, to this day, I've been working in this job for 15 years. I still don't understand MMA fans insecurity with boxing. I just don't get it.
Watch both.
No one watches. I don't know. Do you watch a basketball game and go baseball's dead? I'm watching basketball right now. I'm what? No, I got time. I can watch both. All right.
Uh-oh. Bowling. Bowling.
How dare you?
Bowling's not dead
Bowling's
either.
not dead.
Dare you, MMA
There's more
talk?
personality in bowling now than most
How dare you?
sports.
MMA dog. Jeez. Go. You're bad dog. No. It is not dead either. There's a very successful.
Whoa.
Go ahead, AK.
Hey,
Go ahead, AK.
Karate Combat Season 3 is coming up, all right, with Lyoto Machida and George St. Pierre as special sensei. So watch what you're saying, Jim Raya K, all right? It's not dead. It's just evolved, all right? Karate Combat Season 3, that's coming up. All right? If you haven't, go to Karate Combat on YouTube and watch their previous seasons. It is something else, all right? So check that out, all right?
Do you know Esther Lin went to Budapest and worked for?
I know.
Did some work for Karate Combat. Yeah.
I know. She said it was cool. She
said
said the whole set. She said the whole setup was like super cool.
Yeah, she was very interesting. All right.
else we got?
Here we go.
Can we-
We got
Yeah,
time.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you guys think Fili Pineda is going to be fight of the night contender? Excited for that showdown. It's definitely a contender.
Definitely.
Will it be the fight? I don't know. I'm not really sure. What do you think, AK? Is that if I give you $20 and you had a bet on the fight of the night, you betting Fili Pineda? You going somewhere else?
nah, I like Maine's Dalby. I think this could be a performance of the night because I'm actually expecting Feely. I don't know. I got a good feeling. It was his birthday yesterday. It was, and I only remember that, of course, because it was also my birthday.
Oh.
No, and it was also my birthday.
Oh.
So how could I forget? So he just turned 30 yesterday, and it's funny. We've seen him so much in the UFC, we forget how young this guy is. He's really in his prime, or probably just entering his like athletic prime right now. And I was looking like, man, he's never like out of a fight. He's always competitive. Even like I know his record, people go like, oh, 9-7. It's like, watch the fights that he lost. Like he's in there with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't strung together that big run yet, and I think it might be coming. And I think it might start. I actually think that's going to be like a performance of the night worthy finish for Feely. So I've got Feely winning that one. But I really like the Means. I'm really, really looking forward to the Means Dalby matchup as far as fight of the night goes. Yeah.
So last question. Yeah. Here we go. Kind of
Predictions for 2 performance bonuses. I'll say Kennedy and Ione Barcelos.
Oh, that's what. Oh, I thought. Okay. Okay. Performance bonuses.
Oh, I got to see what
I'm going to say. I'm going to say Renato Moicano. And I'm going to go Renato Moicano. And I'm going to be lame. Alexander Volkov.
That's not lame. I was going to go Volkov too. I'm going Volkov Dalby.
That's not like that's low hanging fruit, which is why I said it.
Dalby.
Isn't Gane's the favorite, right? Isn't Gane the favorite? So you're picking the underdog
still.
for performance. No.
But good stuff. The main event ends in a finish. Chances are it's going to get a bonus.
Dalby, that's a gutty pick. I'm going to go, as I just said, Feely, and I think Gane. Oh, no, not Gane. I'm sorry. St. Preux. Based on my predictions, I think St. Preux. I am predicting a St. Preux submission win.
Okay.
I think that might be the fight of the night. I have a feeling that's just going to be insane.
Really?
Like just a wild, crazy, like I can't believe this is happening kind of a fight. That's just so fun to watch. It's just everything Jed Meshew would hope for in a fight. I have a feeling we're going to see this in this co-main event.
I can't get my hopes
It
up.
got slapped together.
I lean that way too because I think Tanner Boser right now is kind of what you call playing with house money right now. Short notice fight. I think if he loses this fight, he won't be released by the UFC, even though it'll be 3 losses. So I think I think the UFC put him in this spot in the co-main event, even coming off 2 losses. They're like, just be crazy, just throw haze, and have fun. Whatever you do, don't use strategy. Just use violence to win this fight. I think that's what
you got a new
wants.
deal.
Even on
one of the things that's kind of surprising and just seeing it on social media, Kennedy in Nzechukwu, I think that's how you pronounce that. I always screw that one up. He is a darling. Like everyone's picking him to just go out there and starch Danilo Marquez like it's nothing. Why? Like he's very good, and it could very well happen. He could go out there and get a first round finish. I don't know. I think if you're looking at like interesting underdog betting lines, Danilo Marquez at plus 110. It's not a bad one. Marquez
Mike,
look pretty good.
I'll tell you why. We got a comment from Alex Main, and he says he wants to jump on the which combat sports disciplines are dead. He says professional jiu-jitsu is dead. So there you go. You want to know why? Look, we talked about Derek Lewis earlier. Look at any Derek Lewis fight. Guys try to choke him, take him down. He just halts his way out, and it's like, where's your jiu-jitsu now? So there you go. I think a lot of people agree that jiu-jitsu clearly a dead art in the world of MMA. And
will Jai Herbert's fight be stopped at a proper time? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I have a feeling it will be.
But
I mean, Kennedy's a good prospect, and he's somebody to keep an eye on, and he's still super young in the sport. And the comeback against Carlos Ulberg, he's very durable. He took a lot of punishment in that fight and came back and got the win, which I actually picked, by the way. But Marquez is a little more seasoned. He's been in there, with some guys who have more experience than Kennedy. I mean, I could be just reading this terribly wrong, but I don't think this fight's a blowout like everybody seems to think it is.
Kennedy, he had a hell of a tough time winning his last fight against a UFC.
With Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah, he was getting his butt kicked, and then Carlos Ulberg got super tired and decided to throw punches from his waist.
Yeah.
So
Kennedy is a guy I would buy. I would buy some stock in Kennedy because he's not even sniffing his prime yet, and he's already in the UFC, and he's that talented. He's getting wins.
He's talented and tough as heck. Yeah, so
he's eventually going to put it all together. I just don't know if today's that day. I don't know. It's definitely worth taking a peek at if you're playing the ponies.
All right,
I mean, I could be reading this one.
Raging
Panda, that should be Julia should be a good one.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Jane's betting his entire purse on his fight against Charles Rosa?
Terrible idea.
Terrible idea. Listen, good on him because, and this is no disrespect, but had he not given that interview to Overtime Heroics, we wouldn't even be talking about Justin James right now.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't be.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's just the placement on the card more than anything.
All news is good news, I suppose, but boy, I don't know if you're at that level.
Hey,
does Justin James have a family? Is he a single man? This kind of thing.
If he wins tonight, if he loses tonight, was that 3-4 straight losses in the UFC?
Uh-huh.
He most likely he's done in the UFC. We probably will, it'll be a long time before we see him fight at a high level again.
There's a good chance both guys are fighting for their jobs in this fight.
If he wins, though, this storyline stays around forever with Justin James, and that's, as a prize fighter, you get people caring. That's smart in Justin James. I'm still picking Rosa. Now I feel really bad if Justin James loses, but hey, good on him, man. You got I think Mike nailed it. We're talking about the second fight on a fight night card.
Okay,
I like Justin. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with the dude. He's a fun, exciting fighter.
That's why I'm concerned. If he was someone I didn't think highly of, I would say good, do it. I have to be the won't somebody think of the children here? As always, it is I. So Justin, I hope you have some other, regardless of what happens, I hope you've had some money tucked away somewhere. Because giving away a whole UFC paycheck is, I don't know, man. Guys, I don't know.
And just stay on your feet.
And his Venom fight kit.
Yes.
Good luck, Justin.
Stay on your feet. Stay on your feet, Justin. Stay on your feet. Do not go to the ground with Charles Rosa. Don't do it. And we'll see what happens. But okay, enjoy the matinee, the slate of fights. Okay, it's going down in a matter of moments. Yancy Medeiros, Demir Hadzovic. It's going to end with Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. And then we'll talk about it right after it ends. So for Casey, for AK, I am Mike Heck. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you later on.